This episode of 30 Going on 13 is dedicated to all the Swifties out there and all of the Swifties who have found their other Swifties out in the wild. This one's for you. Because you're literally the only ones who will be willing to watch and listen to what is about to happen. Get pumped.
All right. Hey guys. So I am on today talking to Miss Jess, and I really wanted to do this because there really isn't that many people in my life who love Taylor Swift as much as I do, to the point where I just have to like get on a Zoom call and talk about all the reasons why Taylor Swift rocks my world. And Jess is in Austin. I'm in San Diego, but we met once, and we talked endlessly about just like music. I was just asking her questions and we were vibing, and I'm like, all right, she's my chick. We like the same stuff. And she started making lots of Taylor Swift posts, and I'm like, oh, she's the one. She's one of my Taylor Swift soul sisters. So yeah, we're just going to be here just having a conversation that we just happened to record about why we love Taylor Swift and how she has changed our lives.
I'm so excited to talk about Taylor Swift because I will talk about Taylor Swift with literally anyone for as long as they will listen.
Same here, same here. And then I learned that that's like inappropriate, and sometimes I get weird looks, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I gotta curate who gets like the full Melina Taylor Swift, love fest.
It's so fun.
Awesome. So I guess a good thing to kick off with is, when did you discover Taylor Swift?
Well, this is a fun fact. I actually hated Taylor Swift whenever she first came out. I know, so controversial. I'm embarrassed about it. But like the beginning, like Teardrops on the Guitar, like that whole era, I was just like, I didn't like country music, and I like hated her stupid curly blonde hair. I was like mean about it. But then like Love Story happened and completely changed my worldview.
Awesome. Yeah, no,
What about you?
I can totally relate to that. Don't like country, like, didn't like it, in the beginning. And same, like with Teardrops on My Guitar, and like, what was the other song that she did that was huge?
Oh, Our Song.
Yeah, like that to me, I was
Oh.
just like, okay, like I guess that's cool, but like to me, it just seemed like another like poppy, like like she probably won't last that long. And it actually, I was a late like Swiftie bloomer. It wasn't until 1989
Oh,
that
wow.
I became just like hardcore. Like I loved Love Story. I loved, Hey Stephen. I loved Mine. She did Sweeter Than Fiction, which I think is like a little bit later on. So that's when I started to dig her, but like undercover digger,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm an undercover like Taylor Swift fan. Like she's a guilty pleasure. But then when 1989 came out, I was just blown away by just like how dynamic she was, like how she just wasn't like a cookie cutter. Like she doesn't just do country. She doesn't just do this. And that was the first album where she did her own thing, not just with her music, but in the marketing of her music. I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah. In my brain, I don't think I was obsessed with her until like Shake It Off, but that's not true. Like looking back, like it's crazy. Like looking back and like, oh my God, I was like, I think Speak Now was the album for me that like really made me obsessed, and I like listened to that on repeat, and I thought that I like kept it to myself, but I didn't. I told the world. And then whenever I was like really obsessed with Shake It Off, people were like, we know. And I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. And one of the funnest things about me being like a hardcore Swiftie is seeing other people's reactions to like that's the way that I live my life. Like if I
Yeah.
have headphones in, like there's like an 80% chance that I'm like listening to a Taylor Swift song, or that I listened to one like in the last 20 minutes.
It's like you just gotta, once you like embrace your Swiftiness, I feel like everything changes. You're just like, this is a part of who I am, and I'm okay with it, so you should be okay with it too.
Right, totally. Like I don't need that like negativity in my life if you can't handle my thumping Swiftie heart. It's
Yeah.
like I like described this to someone else before. Like for me, she's like a prescription, because I'm someone who has like all of the feels. So whenever like I'm feeling like some kind of way, I go, oh, there's a Taylor Swift song for that. Like, I wonder what it is.
Yeah, it's like, I know that this will make me feel better. Or at least she gets it. Taylor gets it too.
Right. She's like, live through it, and she can do it, so can I.
I know, right? So beautiful.
It
She's
really is a beautiful thing. So tell me, Jess, I'm curious, is there, like, so we like love Taylor Swift, but like, is there like a moment where just like Taylor Swift, like, did something or said something that impacted your life, like really profoundly?
Yeah, that's a really good one. I really love just the way, like, I saw the first time that I saw her was on the 1989 tour, even though like Red is my favorite album from her. But I just think that like on that tour, she was just so into like embracing her female friendships and talking about how like, all of her like romantic stuff was like kind of terrible. But whenever she really like leaned into that and like embraced all of these female friends, she like really found herself. And I just think that that's so cool and such an important message to like put out there in the universe for like women of all ages, not just like 12-year-olds, but like present day grown ass women need to hear that, and I'm glad she's saying it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I totally get that. Let's see, for me, like Taylor Swift, like had the biggest impact in my life. It was last year. So last year I was going through like a really rough time. I was, making a lot of like huge transitions. And so, I was like on YouTube, just like looking at covers, and a cover popped up, and it was Taylor Swift on the piano, doing a cover of Vance Joy's Riptide.
So good.
And I've had a guitar for a really long time, and she was one of the reasons why I wanted to play the guitar. But like every time I started to play, like I never caught on. I'm like, no, like, I'm never gonna play the guitar. I'm not a good guitar player, whatever. And then when I saw her play, that Vance Joy Riptide cover, it was really slow. She wasn't like, doing anything crazy on the piano. And I was like, if she can take something that's not her native instrument and like completely transform the feel of a song, because Riptide is, pretty like, upbeat. She took it, she made it her own on an instrument that she, wasn't like known to play. And I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. So then I picked up my guitar, I looked up how to play Riptide, and it was the first song that I taught myself on the guitar. And so like when I was like figuring it out, like something happened, and then I also heard Regina Spektor's Folding Chair, and I made my first mashup. I mashed up Regina Spektor's Folding Chair and then like the Taylor Swift version of Riptide, and I was just like, holy crap, like I can do music. And this happened in like May of last year, but like ever since then, like I never put down the guitar. Like I like get like serious anxiety like if I don't play the guitar like at least a few times a week. And it's crazy, and it was all because like Taylor Swift is just like I saw like what she did with another artist's song.
That's so cool. That gave me the chills. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a good story. Oh my God. Like her cover of Riptide, I love it more than the original, and I love Riptide, the original. So it's just like, it's so good. I'm glad that you saw that video and that it made you do that in your life. That's so awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I have a kind of a random story about Taylor Swift and how it impacted my life. So in college, I was like at this party, and I met this dude who I like kind of knew but like didn't really know. But he was a freshman and I was a senior, and I found out that he played guitar, and I was like, oh, will you learn Taylor Swift Love Story for me? And then I made him play it for me on Valentine's Day, and then we ended up dating like a year later for like a couple of years. But like, use Taylor Swift to snag a boyfriend. What up?
Nice. You don't have to be in her squad for her to be of your squad.
I know, right? She's just there for you when you need it.
That's wonderful. So let's see. So what else? Like,
I also really love the way that Taylor Swift's like style has evolved in general over the years. Like I think she just owns every phase of who she is. Like looking back at like her earlier videos, I'm like, oh my God, you're wearing like a prom dress and like the most ridiculous like makeup ever. And then now she's like this fashion icon who just like kills it in everything. And I'm like, I want everything that you wear. Please let me have your closet.
right. She slays. Do you remember her at the Met Gala?
Dude, no, I tweeted about that like whenever that happened, I was like, is this an appropriate Halloween costume? I wanted to be that for Halloween so bad. My like universe just didn't align for me to like craft like, you know, a dress that some famous designer made. I just didn't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
She looked like such like a goth princess, like ready to slay also.
Yeah, she was just like, yeah, gothic and like just like hauntingly beautiful. You know, she rocked the dark lips, like the dark makeup. It was just,
Yeah.
all of it, everything.
But I'm glad that you know that look, because like sometimes I reference it and people are like, what do you, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, of course you know what Taylor Swift wore to the Met Gala. Like, of course.
Right, like it's a fact. Like, pull out your phone right now.
It's like, I'll show you, duh. Or that outfit she wore to the Grammys with like the orange and pink and like it was so good.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think that she, like, you know, her and her stylist do just a really good job of playing around with all different kinds of her types of her personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she's not like everyone else, and like her outfits and like her style completely represent that.
And I'm obsessed with, I just love all of it. Like the way that she owns a crop top, like that girl like is the reason crop tops are a thing right now, basically.
Seriously, goals for sure.
Yeah. The two-piece dress trend, like, duh. All
Mhm.
Tay-Tay.
Definitely. And circling back to something that you were saying, because, you know, think about, you know, when she goes to these award shows and she wears these fabulous things, she brings along like her squad. And like, I mean, I'm personally someone who's never had a squad before. You know, I'm just always kind of been like, you know, just like floating around, you know, fit in with whoever I can. And it, like, I really got the importance of just like having like a solid group of close friends with you always. Because
Yeah.
men and like, you know, romance and stuff will always come and go. And like, it's been so great to see. It was like, oh, Taylor Swift was with this person and they broke up. And then she was here and then they broke up. And then she was here and they broke up. And now it's just like, no matter what, she just always has her squad. And I
Yeah,
think
she's like, I'm bringing Selena Gomez to this event instead of my boyfriend, whatever. Like, even when she has one, she still chooses them, which I think is important, and I love it.
yeah. And even like on stage, like at the 1989 tour, like she doesn't need to be the one in the spotlight all the time. She like likes for other people to shine. You know, she
Yeah.
puts her fans first and just brings, you know, people on stage with her. And I think that's glorious.
She's so good at like sharing the spotlight and like, you know, giving new people a chance because she remembers what it was like to be a new person. I think that no matter how big she gets, she also like stays humble some way, which is like unheard of. Like, she's literally like the most powerful person in like music right now, and she's still like so humble and so appreciative and like super genuine and the best.
Yeah. Like, do you remember what she did for her 1989 listening party?
Oh my gosh, she invited people to her house.
She invited people to her house
Her
and she made
literal
them
house.
cookies, and like her mom was there. She knew every single fan by name. She like did her research on social media, found
Yeah.
out who her biggest fans were, and invited them to her
I'm
house.
just like upset that I haven't tweeted at her enough to get invited, but like I can work on it.
Well, I
Fingers
mean,
crossed.
if you want, we can send this to her and see if she'll give us a digital thumbs up.
Yeah.
That would make me cry all day.
um yes. If Taylor Swift ever like favorited a tweet of mine, I would probably die. I'd be like, I need to take the day off and like reflect on what's happening in my life right now.
I need to emotionally process all of the feelings.
Yeah. Like, she knows that I exist as a human, and that's insane.
Yeah.
Because
No.
yeah, and like I really don't like people who like are like, oh, it's just a publicity stunt, or oh, she's doing it. Like, you don't know her motives. You're not like, I don't look at all the other people who have like similar level of fame as her. They're not doing that. They're not, you know, going out of their way to send fans Christmas presents. You know, she did that because she wants to, because she's sitting at home and is like, I have all this time. Why don't I craft this thing and send it to someone? Because guess what? They've supported me. She like knows that the reason she has the opportunities in the life she does is because of her fans, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I remember reading specifically when she had her fans over at the house and, you know, like someone showed up, she's just like, hi, Amanda, I'm so glad you can make it. Like, and the girl was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm like, thank you. I'm gonna cry now. Like, give me a moment. Like, they were all so composed, and it was so cool because she's also very like private about letting that album out. She was like very like obsessive about like the songs were like exclusively on her phone, and like no one had it on like any of the computers anywhere, but she was willing to like invite people in advance to like, because that's who she's making it for, and I love it.
Totally. And her like work ethic and songwriting process is really inspiring to me. Like I remember reading, or it was like an interview where she said, you know, someone asked about, okay, so what's your process? Like, how do you write these songs? And she's like, I literally just like just record something. If I hear a song in my head, I record it. And then I like on my phone, and then I go back and listen to it later and see if it's any good or not. She said she comes into the studio with like 100 songs and only 10 of them make the cut. And that like, just like as like an aspiring songwriter and as a musician, to me, that's just so important to know that like she works really hard to like curate like the perfect album.
Yeah, and everyone who's worked with her has like nothing but good things to say about collaborating with her, which I think is cool too, because it'd be so easy for someone to be like, oh, like, you know, Taylor was the worst songwriter I ever worked with, but like she's not, because she's amazing and is a doll, and it's just like, so kind and like fun. It would be so cool. My biggest Taylor Swift goal in life would be to be invited to her like July 4th party. That's my secret.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Not secret anymore. And if you go, I'm going with
Taylor,
you.
I'm available next July. Hey.
I'll keep you penciled in, Tay.
Yeah, you know, like I probably have the day off. Like it's not like I'm doing anything. I'll bring like some nachos.
Right? I'll wear a shirt that says I love Taylor, no problem.
Yeah. Anything. Whatever you want, I'll do it.
And I think you have a cool story about a Taylor Swift experience somewhere that you work, right?
Oh my God, yes. Let me tell you about my coworker. So my coworker is relatively new. This was my literal first interaction with him. I don't think he knew my name before this happened. Like that's how new he was. And one of my coworkers came out and they were like, hey, Jess, come in here and ask Jimmy about Taylor Swift. Because like everyone in my office knows that I love Taylor Swift. Like the day that Taylor Swift and Calvin broke up, like the CEO of our company was like, we need to put Taylor Swift on Pandora right now and we need to listen to this and mourn. And I was like,
I love that.
You get me. I understand. So anyway, so like everyone knows it's not a secret. So I come in and I'm like, I don't know, this could go one of two ways. Like he could be really into Taylor Swift, or like, you know, maybe he hates Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Right.
So I go in and I'm like, tell me about Taylor Swift. And I sit down. He's like, well, you know, like I used to work in Nashville and I used to do like video editing. So he was in like the video editing location, and Taylor Swift was really into like the post-production process, and she came in whenever they were editing Mine, and she like met her and all this stuff. And then the next day, like his boss came in and was like, oh hey, Taylor baked you cookies. She baked him peanut butter cookies.
Oh,
And they were just like on his desk with a little note, and I was like I literally cried in the office as he's telling me this story. Like I was so emotional, I was like, stop it. And so like I'm in this room with like 3 dude developers who all have like beards, and I'm like crying about Taylor Swift because I don't even know. I was like, I didn't know that I'd have this reaction. And one of the things that I remember saying was, I almost met Taylor Swift. As if him meeting her like 6 years ago was almost me meeting her.
Well, the degrees of separation, like
it's like basically there. I was like, what? I was like, how did you not foster this relationship more? Like, why aren't you besties with her, and why don't I know her now? I'm a little mad at him, but also like very jealous. She baked him peanut butter cookies, which were his favorite. So
wow.
I know, like what? That's crazy to me.
That's so killer. And like another testament to like how just like humbled she is, and how like grounded she is with people that she doesn't even know and like doesn't have to do anything for.
Yeah, she's just like, I like baking cookies and I'm gonna give them to these people who are like, you know, I meet once. What? That's so nice.
Yeah, like I need to bake more cookies for people like in my life that I actually love. Like
I know, right? Like not strangers. I need to bake more cookies for myself. I don't even bake that many cookies for myself. Gotta treat yourself with that. Yeah, it was oh my God. It was a good moment. And then like later in the day, like anytime someone brought it up that day, I cried like 5 separate times about it. I just like couldn't look at anyone to talk about it. I was like, I don't know what's happening to me. One of my coworkers was like, are you faking this right now? I was like, I wish. I wish that I was. This is just like how I feel right now. I didn't know.
Yeah, like even like when you told me the story, I like got hot flashes. Like I was like turning red, and I'm like, wait, what? I can't even imagine like being in the office like with the GoGo.
Yeah, she's hiding. Hi, baby. She loves Taylor Swift too. So.
Oh, cool. So let's talk about for a little bit how Taylor Swift is portrayed in the media.
Yes, I love the way that Taylor Swift is kind of like fighting gender stereotypes against her with the whole like how they're always like, oh, she's so boy crazy, blah blah blah, she can't like hold on to a man, she's a serial dater, she's like whatever. Like that whole persona, I think that she has really been able to like twist that around in a positive way and just talk about how like, you know, Bruno Mars or Ed Sheeran are like singing about girls in the same way she's singing about boys, but they are not like hated on for it. They're celebrated for it. And she's like, you know, that's bananas to me. And it's so true. It's like, you know, just because she's a woman singing about a dude, they're like, oh, she's desperate. Oh, this, all these things are said about her, which couldn't be further from the truth. And when people are like, oh, like her relationship with Tom Hiddleston, like didn't last that long. I'm like, what? I would be happy with a 3-month relationship. I can't even get a third date right now. Like, good for her.
No, I totally feel that. Like, and that's why when Blank Space came out, and I saw the music video for it, and I saw her perform it, I was just like, yes, like this, like I love the satire behind that song.
Yes.
And like it's like one of my soul jams, you know, because it's just like it's true, you know, like when a woman, you know, goes around and she dates and, you know, it doesn't work out and she is sad about it, it's like, well, that's crazy and that's, you know, that's insane, and but she just get over it. And it's like so I love how she like took that, you know, stereotypical image of her that the media was portraying and just like flipped it over and was just like, all right, I'm in on the joke too.
Yeah, it's like I'll checkmate you right now. Like with that, like I'll double down on this concept. You think this is who I am? Look, I'll show you crazy. What? And I love it. Because I know it's not Taylor, but like so Justin Bieber for a while like recently was like Instagramming photos of like him and Selena like after they had broken up like much later, and like a lot of places on the internet were like, oh, look at how cute it is that Justin Bieber's like, you know, celebrating like what he had with Selena Gomez. How sweet, isn't this like the sweetest Throwback Thursday pic you've ever seen?
Right.
And I was like, if that was Selena doing that, they'd be like, oh my god, she's so desperate, she's not over him, like blah blah blah, like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Double standards.
Yep. And it takes people like Tay to break them. Like,
Yeah.
I even love the way she handled the whole, do you remember the Twitter feud with like her and Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
And just like the way that she handled that with like such grace and just like maturity, like that's how I want to handle every like misunderstanding with someone in my life. Cause there was a misunderstanding. Taylor misspoke, you know, Nicki got mad, and what'd she do? She picked up the phone and called Nicki.
Yeah,
You know,
and she's like, you know, she's okay to say, oh, I made a mistake. And I think that people aren't willing to do that a lot. They're like pride. And imagine that on like the scale that she's at, like whenever this is unfolding in front of like the whole world. And she's just like, whoops, my bad. Sorry, you know, like, and saying, sorry, I didn't understand. You're right. That's super powerful.
It really is. It really is. It definitely gives a what would Taylor do like spin to like when I'm trying to make decisions.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Tay, help me, guide me, be my guardian angel.
Yes. Oh, she already is.
I know, right? It's so fun to think about, like, I don't know, like, what does her day-to-day look like? Like, what time does Taylor Swift wake up in the morning? Do you think she's, like, a morning person or, like, a night owl?
You know, I think, like, I want to say, like, she's, like, oh, wow, that's a really good question. You know, I feel like she's a morning person. I feel like she's one of those people that can stay up late, but like springs out of bed to like make breakfast and like, you know, make sure her cats get fed and like, you know, check on her friend to see like what she's doing today.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I definitely feel like she leans more morning person. She feels like she has her shit together and she's like, you know, on top of it and is like, I'm gonna go work out and like do all these things and like greet the day. Like she's definitely like not crabby in the morning at all. She's just like super pumped and like ready for another day.
Totally.
But yeah, I think she can like, I think that even if she stays up late though, she can still like get up early and be like, I'm good to go.
I get that vibe too, for sure.
She's basically both.
And her friendship with Lena Dunham, I'm like obsessed with it. Like I love them both as friends, you know, together. She writes music with Lena's boyfriend, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they wrote that song Sweeter Than Fiction, and it was about Lena. Like, I just like love all the girl power, musical creativeness that is their friendship.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I love Jack so much. Fun fact, this is like my most hipster moment ever. Whenever I was in college, it was like right around the time whenever Fun's first album came out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see a band who was opening up for them, and it ended up selling out before my friend could get a ticket, and we both did college radio, so we got in for free and got to interview Fun. So basically that's another 1 degree of separation from Taylor Swift, because I've been in like a white van with like Jack Antonoff.
And Nate.
And Nate, and Andrew, all three of them hanging out.
That's the noise I make when I hear that.
It was like a really awkward interview.
Oh, really? What was awkward about it?
We were both, it was like me and my friend, and we like hadn't really interviewed anyone ever before, and we were just like weird, and it was like we had all of their phone numbers, and we just had to like call them and be like, hey, here we are, let's talk about music. I don't know.
You had their phone numbers?
Yeah, I don't have them anymore. I don't know what happened. I know we just had to like call them. It was like at a like 200 person venue outside of DC.
Got it. You can tell by like when my like the pitch of my voice goes up that like I'm really excited. I love Nate. Like Nate's like my favorite. Like his voice just makes me like melt into the couch or the wall or whatever solid form.
Yeah, they're so great. Yeah. So all these degrees of separation from Tay-Tay. One day my degree is going to be 0 degrees.
Wow, girl.
Degree.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll send this to her, and hopefully we'll get at least a Twitter shout out.
Or like, hey girl, or a wink, a favorite, a song dedicated to us on her new album. I don't know, something small.
No, yeah, just something really quick.
Yeah, like not time consuming at all.
Oh man. Well, man, just this has been super fun. I definitely know that this won't be the only time we obsess over Taylor Swift.
Oh yes.
But I mean, yeah, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or
my closing I wanted to read so I time hop. Do you time hop also?
Yeah, I do.
So this was on my time hop 2 years ago today that I would like to share. It says, this is 3 p.m. That time I had to buy earbuds at the airport for too much money so I could listen to the new Taylor Swift album immediately. Because this was her album, like, released the day that I was flying back from San Francisco, like, visiting a friend. And I forgot my earbuds, and I was like, this is a state of emergency. And then, exactly 36 minutes later, I wrote on Facebook, smiling out loud at the airport listening to the new Taylor Swift album, buying overpriced earbuds were totally worth it.
Yes.
Putting that out there that was still a really good purchase. I don't know where those earbuds are, but like saved my life that day. And I remember sitting in that airport being like, oh my God, this is embarrassing because I'm like dying right now. And I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, man, this was a fun chat, and I'm so glad. Like, I know that the other day it was 10 years ago that Taylor Swift first came on the music scene. So that's kind of what inspired like us to just like connect and like have this chat. So yay for Taylor Swift, yay for Taylor Swift squad buddies, and yeah, Jess, we'll talk soon.
Yay! Thanks for chatting with me.
Anytime, lady. Anytime. Bye.
Toodles.